set?
Oh, there we go. Like, okay. You guys can't move without talking.
Sorry.
All right, we're all set?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. I am reconvening our Montgomery County Public Budget Hearing for December 1st, 2022. I want to welcome everybody. I will start with just a few quick comments. This evening, we are conducting the second of two public hearings on the proposed 2023 budget and the proposed 5-year capital improvement program. The first public hearing was held this morning at 10 a.m. The county's proposed 2023 budget was released on November the 17th, and copies of it and the 5-year proposed capital improvement plan have been available in the Commissioner's Office for public review, as well as on the county's website at montcopa.org/finance. At the last Board of Commissioners meeting, the County Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Dean Dortone, provided a presentation to the Board of Commissioners outlining the key financial highlights contained in the proposed 2023 budget. This presentation can be viewed on the county website, or printed copies can be obtained at our offices here at 1 Montgomery Plaza. Thank you to Mr. Dortone and your finance team, our senior team, and our county departments who work closely together over the past several months to identify savings and priorities for 2023. We will make our final decision on this budget at our commissioners meeting on December the 15th at 10 a.m. This public hearing is intended for the Board of Commissioners to listen and hear comments from the public, but not to respond directly to individual questions during the hearing. Per our public comment guidelines, each member of the public will be given up to 3 minutes to comment. All comments will be recorded in the public record. For those attending in person, be sure that you have signed in on the sign-in sheet. If you have a specific question that you would like for us to get back to you on, please make sure we have your contact information and we will follow up. For those of you logged in via Zoom, please use the raise your hand button to indicate that you would like to provide public comment. We look forward to taking your comments into account as we make our final considerations on this budget. And we will start with comments by those attending in person, and I will ask Mr. Stein to read the rules.
Yes, thank you. As a reminder, the purpose of today's hearing is to give public the opportunity to comment on the proposed 2023 budget. As this is a reconvened meeting, the public is reminded that each individual gets one opportunity to make comment today. All speakers should sign into the hearing on the sheet available in the back of the room or virtually as indicated by Chair Arkush. All speakers must come to the podium if they're physically able. Each speaker will be given one opportunity to speak during the meeting. Speakers should identify themselves by name and municipality. All public comments must be relevant or germane to the subject of the hearing. Under the law, this means that the subject matter of all comments must be limited to the subject matter for which the hearing has been convened. Whether matter is germane to the hearing is a determination to be made by the county solicitor. Time limit of 3 minutes will be monitored, and county staff will respectfully request speakers to conclude their comments if the speaker goes beyond the time allotted. The board is not required to respond to public comments during the course of the hearing, so the public is reminded this is not an opportunity for dialogue, questions, and answers. The board chair may direct appropriate county staff to follow up on any questions or additional comments after the hearing. Disruptive behavior, including but not limited to yelling from the seats, arguing whether matter is germane to the subject matter of the hearing once the solicitor made a determination on such, or refusing to yield the floor once time has elapsed and being requested to sit down, shall be grounds for removal or muting from the meeting without further admonishment or warning. As always, the commissioners welcome written correspondence, comments, and feedback at commissioners@montcopa.org.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. Ms. Francisco.
Okay, we'll start with public comment by those in person. So first we have Jean Sorg.
Good evening.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here. I'm Jean Sorg from Ambler Borough. I am also Montgomery County's Recorder of Deeds. I stand before you to speak on the raises for our county employees. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Speaking from my office specifically, my staff is diligent. They are a credit to this county and actually win us quite a bit of praise. And I believe they should be paid commensurate with the great deeds that they do, all the work that they perform for us, and commensurate with what they might be paid for the knowledge they now have in the outside world. So thank you so much for considering a pay raise for these wonderful employees that I am proud to work with every day.
Thank you.
Next we have Karen Sanchez.
Good evening, Commissioners. Karen Sanchez, Abington. As the Montgomery County Controller, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for including a 4% pay raise for the non-represented employees in the 2023 budget, and for preparing in the coming year to further help the retention of county employees and recruitment of new employees by commissioning a new compensation study. As a department head and a member of Salary Board, I greatly understand the challenges we face in recruiting and retaining quality employees, and I believe that these steps you are taking is a great start to addressing these pay issues. Thank you.
Next, we have Lori Schreiber.
Good evening, everybody. Lori Schreiber, Abington. I'm also the Clerk of Courts. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about our upcoming budget at the hearing this evening. I know we have many financial challenges and appreciate all of the hard work that has gone into putting together this 2023 budget. So thank you to all the staff who spent their time working on this. As other department heads and row officers have expressed, salary differentials continue to be problematic to both hire and retain staff members. We currently have several openings in the Clerk of Court's office, with a few of those openings being the direct result of people who enjoyed their jobs but left to work in other offices where they could earn more money. While we are always supportive of their successes, it leaves us in a situation to continually train new people and try to find qualified staff members. So we appreciate the past raises for our employees and hope that there will be this similar future increase to help bring us closer in line with similar positions elsewhere. Thank you on behalf of the Clerk of Court's office.
Next, we have Jason Salas.
Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jason Salas, White Marsh, Montgomery County Treasurer. I too want to echo my colleagues regarding the pay raise for our non-represented employees, the 4% pay raise that you've included in the budget, to retain our great and dedicated workforce, and also to help us recruit employees. I know I will say anecdotally, most recently we have an opening in my office, and by the time we extended an interview to an applicant, this was recently, they'd already accepted another position. I certainly value the work that our employees do. I know that they are committed to being public servants, and I think it's important that we work as hard as we can to compensate them fairly, and keep them serving the constituents of Montgomery County. I also want to thank you for beginning the process of a compensation study more broadly. This is the beginning of a conversation. So thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you.
Next, we have Noah Marlier.
Good evening, Commissioners. I am Noah Marlier. I'm a resident of Springfield, but I'm here tonight as the Montgomery County Prothonotary. I know you know, my office is the first step into the courthouse, the court system here in the county. More often than not, one does not see a judge or get a legal ruling regarding a civil legal matter until they file legal documents, and those documents are processed and archived in my office. I have 27 dedicated, hardworking staff members that see that this filing process is done effectively and efficiently day in and day out. Quite often, those who use my office are going through some of the most significant experiences of their life. Whether one is getting divorced or filing documents regarding child custody, changing their name, every filer expects that we will treat them with dignity and respect and professionalism. As my office is so vital and so essential, we remained open during the COVID-19 pandemic in order to serve the residents of Montgomery County. This board, thank you, has recognized the importance of my staff's work. I want to express my gratitude and appreciation that my employees received pay increases this year that reflected their hard work and dedication to the residents. Both my unionized and non-unionized employees received a much-needed 3% increase mid-year. Some of my staff would also receive a 4% salary increase as part of the budget that is currently before you. I specifically want to highlight my staff members who work in the Protection from Abuse Department. These county employees are on the front lines assisting those who are petitioning for protection from domestic violence. A PFA analyst in my office may be the first person that a resident seeking protection will speak to here in the courthouse. And indeed, during the courthouse shutdown, my PFA department remained open so that victims were still able to petition protection from the court. Our services to those petitioning for protection from domestic violence have become even more critical, as we have unfortunately seen an uptick in domestic violence over the last 3 years. I want to express my sincere appreciation that this board approved hazard pay in the summer of 2020 for my PFA analysts for their work early in the stages of the pandemic. I further want to express my appreciation that this board recognized that my PFA analysts are still on the front lines, having previously approved premium pay throughout 2022 for those employees. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Do we have any other in-person public comment? Go ahead.
Great. If you all could just sign in when you're done.
We did.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Mary Pugh, and I'm from Springfield Township. I'm a resident. And I want to thank you for your challenging budgeting process. You here in Montgomery County have prioritized the services that the citizens need. And I know that because I'm a resident, but I also know that because I run a nonprofit where we represent abused children. And we represent abused children Montgomery County-wide. And the COVID pandemic and its collateral consequences has set unprecedented stress on our citizens. And I thank you for considering the stresses of not only the employees of the county, which I didn't expect that they would all be here, but I'm thrilled to see them, but your citizens. I have seen and witnessed that economic fragility, food fragility, unemployment, and housing crisis among your residents. And today your budget is numbers, and it's numbers that needs an increase. But it's not a mere increase for money, it's an increase to take care of your residents, and you routinely and historically have done that. Montgomery County Child Advocacy Project represents those abused children who are in the system because of abuse and neglect. And your money and your dedication as an appropriation, we are not a county agency, we are a nonprofit, but you have committed dollars through the years so that children can be safe and their parents can have employment and remove some of the stress that are in their Montgomery County homes. So thank you. Yes, during the COVID crisis, any appropriation we received was at that point frozen, as it should be. We all had to stretch ourselves. But right now, you know that you can't continue to stretch the families and the citizens. So I thank you right now for your budget. It's a challenging time where you need to prioritize the needs of all the citizens. And today, I thank you for the 9,000 children that we have represented in Montgomery County since 2004 with your help. And because of them, they are safe. So I thank you.
Sorry, I didn't have one of the sheets. Michael Stokes?
Good evening. It's nice to return here. I'm Michael Stokes, a resident of Limerick Township. I'm also a member of the County Open Space Board. I'm here really to put on my coat and tie just to come down and say, good job. I mean, this is a wise and forward-looking budget. Very difficult thing to do in these economic times. I, of course, went right through the operating budget, right into the capital budget, where I was most interested in how you were treating open space and trails. And I'm very glad to say you're looking at our open space system, our trail system, as an important green asset that really benefits the county. And as I'm sure you're aware, the Open Space Board and the Planning Commission staff worked on an economic impact analysis of our county trail and open space system, the return on environment study that was issued in March. And that showed some significant numbers. $2.8 million worth of property value, residential property value, is added to each of the homeowners in Montgomery County as a result of proximity to open space. A significant $160 million or so comes into the county in the form of tourism and different types of staffing and salary costs associated with open space. We get a benefit to the environment, which is critical when we're addressing stormwater and flooding and other issues such as that. And they calculate that in the study, about 30 million per year. In addition, our residents receive direct impact from having available open space and trails and recreation land to use. And that accounts for over 200 million for recreation. And then when you look at health and the ability for us to improve our fitness, that may result in another 200+ million in reduced costs associated with medical attention. The budget's got some good stuff in there for open space, the capital plan. I would love to highlight it all, but I'm not going to have the time. But just let me say that open space is looked at very thoroughly by the Open Space Board as we make our recommendations to the commissioners on good projects to join into. Many of them are joint projects with other organizations. But the trails are really, there's some exciting stuff in this capital budget for trails. There'll be 3 critical ribbon cuttings very soon. I think one may take place next year, and hopefully the other 2 will be soon thereafter. We are going to complete the Chester Valley Trail all the way from Norristown through Bridgeport, Upper Marion, and to connect into Chester County. So you can ride from Norristown all the way out to Exton if you're so inclined. The other big connection will be in the Pottstown area. The Schuylkill River Trail, with just a mile link that needs to be built in Lower Pottsgrove, will be a complete 60-mile or so trail all the way from South Street all the way up to Penn Street in Reading. So that's another.
My apologies, but your 3 minutes are up.
Oh, okay. Like I say, there's a lot of good stuff. You can read the rest for yourself.
Thank you.
Next, we have D. Bruce Haynes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Bruce Haynes. I'm from Cheltenham, and I'm also the County Register of Wills and Clerk of the Orphans Court. It's my understanding that whatever I have to say can only be said after 6 o'clock.
That's correct. Yeah, next one.
So I have to wait 2 minutes.
It's a separate here. It's a separate. We have to finish
Okay,
this and then,
so-
yeah, so no worries. You can come
I-
back. I mean, or sit tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
It was a pleasure.
Rich, are you for the special meeting or for budget?
Special meeting.
Okay. And then we had someone else from Collegeville sign in.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say. I wasn't going to speak.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll move to our public budget comment online. We have a couple folks with their hands raised. First, we will go to Angelique Hinton. You can unmute.
Hi, this is Angelique Hinton. I live in 2306 Liberty Court, West Norton, and I am here tonight as a library board member for the Montgomery County Norristown Public Library. I want to start off by thanking you for this opportunity to provide public comment. And I also want to say how grateful I am that the county has increased their planned investment in the library building, which you own and maintain, to $15.5 million over the next 2 years. We are super excited about that investment, as our executive director has some amazing visions for how we can transform that library into a community space that will be vibrant, welcoming, bright. We have a literacy issue in Norristown, so we're hoping that this will bring in community and really create a space where community can be safe, but also, again, get focused on, really trying to ramp up the literacy issues that are happening. Also, I am the president of the Norristown NAACP, and so I wanted to also express, the desire to try to get moving on this project because there are very few spaces in Norristown where community can come together and really, find a hub where we can kind of, have community meetings, again, literacy. The library is used for so many things, and it's just really amazing. So what I'm asking tonight is to try to encourage that we move forward on the building survey because there are many problems in the library that need to be fixed. And, again, we really want to get this space to a place where everyone in the community can use it and really focus on, just coming together and hopefully increasing our literacy and community. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, next we will have Kim Henderson. You can unmute.
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Good evening, Kim Henderson, East Norriton Township. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening on this proposed budget hearing. I noticed that there is an 8% tax hike in 2023 after we just had a 8% tax hike in 2022. And so my question is, and I know it won't be answered in this forum tonight, but I will be coming in and asking in other ways. When a household has a budget, they have to stick to the budget because that's the income that they have. If we're having a 16% increase in our taxes in 2 years, and even the employees of the county are only getting a 4%, it's just seems to be unreasonable that the constituents of Montgomery County would expect a 16% increase in taxes year over year. And I would just pose the question, when you're doing these budgets, are there any areas that are ever cut back? Or is this something that we just keep tacking money onto? Are we sure that every program that we're funding is profitable, is working the way it should be? So I would just pose to say that I disagree with this budget. I disagree with this tax hike again this year. I would love to work together with the county officials to see if there's other ways of going about reducing some of the funding in some of the locations, rather than, just keep on tax hiking year after year. I just feel like that's for the people who are working, for the people who are property owners, who are footing this bill. I just think it's a concern that we should have
Can you let me
overall.
my laptop?
So thank you very much. And I will not be able to be on the next meeting. So I also disagree with the budget for the raises for the elected officials. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we will have Jeanette Clifton. You can now unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Hi, I'm new to this process, so forgive me for any mistake I make. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I live in Pottstown, Montgomery County, and I don't approve of this budget either. What the lady said before me, that the taxes are 16%, or that's insane. How are people supposed to be able to afford food with everything else up? People are going to be living on the streets. That's crazy. I also don't like the fact it doesn't have any money towards early intervention or mental health. $30,000, really? That isn't enough for mental health. What is this other? I don't understand that. It's $7 billion for other. I'd like to have more information on that. It seems so vague. And the park house and assisted living, it has stayed the same while everything else goes up. It just doesn't seem fair. And then why do the elected officials get to have a big increase while everybody else has to pay for it? I can understand you needing some increase, but not exorbitant, because lots of other people don't have access to lots of money. To tax us so much that we live is insane. There has to be another answer. I just don't understand. You can email me if you want to help me understand what all this means. Like I said, I'm new to this, but the fact that mental health has gone way down from 830,000 to 3,000, the fact that early intervention has nothing, and children and youth, I can understand that I need to be increased depending on, life situations. I mean, these are important. Not that anything else isn't. And the developmental disabilities, I have 2 disabled children. And there's like $4,000 entire year. How am I supposed to get the help I need? Just please take this into consideration. And I thank you for your work, and I thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. And if we have your email address, we'll definitely follow up with you and explain what some of those specifics that you're looking at, what they indicate. So thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
We do have her email, Kelly.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
great.
Next, we have James Meehan. You can now unmute.
Good evening.
Again, James, you just have to hit the unmute button there.
There we go. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we
Hi,
can hear
yes,
you. Good evening.
Hi, yes, thank you. It's the first time I've done this via Zoom. Hello, my name is Jim Meehan. I currently live in Lower Frederick Township, and I'm a lifelong Montgomery County resident. I would like to disclose that I am currently employed as a correctional officer at the Montgomery County Correctional Facility. I'm a proud union member of Teamsters Local 384 and have served in the past on the Safety Committee. I look forward to continuing to choose Montgomery County as the place where I live, work, and play. The following comments that I make today are of my own behalf as a taxpayer and citizen of the Commonwealth of PA. The 2023 Montgomery County budget specifically states that 20 vacant correctional officer positions will be eliminated effective January 1st, 2023, but does not state how much money will be saved or go into detail as to what positions will be eliminated. And also the capital budget states that approximately $16 million will be spent on Montgomery County facility roof repair. I am asking the Montgomery County Commissioners to reconsider the elimination of 20 correctional officers from the Montgomery County Correctional Facility and possibly redirect more of any current or remaining or future American Rescue Plan funds, ARPA funds or Corona funds, for use at the Montgomery County Correctional Facility to improve the overall health, safety, morale, and recruitment of staff, and to help with any possibility of closing any of the gaps needed to balance the budget. It is in my opinion that everyone who comes in and out of the doors of the facility, the Montgomery County Correctional Facility, whether it be on a daily, monthly, or yearly basis, deserve more input and transparency. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today, and remember, the hardest prison to escape is in your own mind.
Thank you. And we'll follow up with you as well about the
Thank
details.
you very much.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we have your email. We'll follow up with you about what the details of that
Thank you very much.
proposed budget line it means. Yeah.
Okay, that concludes our public comment.
Okay. All right. Great. Are there any closing commissioner comments? No. Okay. Then I will move to adjourn the December 1st, 2022 Montgomery County proposed 2023 budget hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Any negative votes? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. All right. I will now call to order a special meeting to consider an increase in salaries for county elected officials. We will first ask if there are any opening commissioner comments. Nope. Okay. Then.
Yes, I do have a comment.
You have an opening comment?
Opening
Okay.
comment.
Okay.
I've been a commissioner for 7 full years, and
I never recall having a special meeting like this, anywhere remotely similar to this. And it's to consider increasing the salary of elected officials. And in my opinion, what's happening here is wrong. We just had a budget hearing that reflects a 8% property tax increase. We're currently in a fiscal year with a 8% property tax increase, and it's the third consecutive year with a property tax increase. And here we are, literally in the cloak of darkness, going to raise elected official salaries, and it's a slap in the face of the Montgomery County property owners, and it's wrong. So before we even go further with this, Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Mr. Stein, would you please explain to Commissioner Gale why we're having this meeting now?
Yes, as indicated in the memo that I circulated to the commissioners, the statute which governs the salaries of elected county officials requires that any increase be done in a certain manner, including part of that any meeting where that will be considered be done at in a central location and the hours between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Otherwise, if this were to take place during the day or even at 5:30 p.m. at night, it would be illegal.
Well, it reminds me of the midnight pay raise, the infamous midnight pay raise in Harrisburg in 2005, when our legislators raised their salary in the middle of the night. So the optics of this is terrible. That may be the law, but I am absolutely against this. I don't think it should go any further. And it takes one of you to simply second the motion, and it's done. Do what's right and second the motion
Commissioner
to
Gale, I
adjourn the
follow
meeting.
the state statutes, and the state statutes require that we have to have this meeting at this time, in this way, as a separate meeting from our other county business. So we will proceed.
Well, and let me say that it's quite light in this room. This meeting was properly advertised. This is not under the cloak of darkness. So stop with the dramatics.
You know what? I'll tell the public what this is all about, because there's no political consequences for my colleagues by increasing their own salary and the salary of elected officials. Because the political reality is, this is an overwhelmingly, solidly Democrat county. And not one person in this room that's a Democrat candidate for a row office or county commissioner has to lift a finger to get elected, as long as they have the backing of the Democrat establishment. I'm the only board member that's originally elected to this board. Commissioner Arkush was originally appointed to fill a vacancy. Commissioner Lawrence was originally appointed to fill a vacancy. I was twice elected by the public. And the public did not put me in this chair to raise the salary of elected officials, especially when 3 consecutive years in a row we've had a property tax increase. So that's what this is all about. Nobody else has a political consequence to it, but I do. And I believe it's wrong.
So you won't accept it?
You know what I'll do? I'll give it away to a charitable cause.
So you'll accept it?
I will give it to a pro-life crisis pregnancy center that helps unborn babies and mothers.
So you'll accept
And I'll give it to them instead of having you two waste it on ridiculous, outlandish projects.
Mr. Gale, you could sign and not accept it.
Don't talk about signing things. Did you exclude my name over off of everything?
Sign it. Just be your name. You could sign your own thing, like you signed plenty of
But
things.
I don't trust the two of you to manage our money. We have 3 consecutive years of tax increases.
Right, so you'll take it.
Right. So
You'll
I don't
vote
want
no and
money
take
to
it.
go to outlandish projects across the street like the Justice Center when it should be not happening. And I made the motion to
Commissioner
adjourn
Gale,
the meeting, and you can end it.
You're missing the point. The question to you is, if this does pass, and if you are reelected, this won't go into effect until 2024. Do not interrupt me. If you are reelected and this goes into effect into 2024, do you intend to accept the salary?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I will
fine.
not take it.
That was the question.
And the two of you should
All
be
right, we
ashamed
will
of yourselves.
Move on.
Yeah, make sure you sign.
The order of this will be as follows. We're going to take general public comment, not on this topic, just general public comment. Then Mr. Dortone is going to give a presentation about the question at hand, at which point I will put a motion on the floor, and then we will be able to take comments specifically on this motion. All right, so is there any general public comment? Anybody online?
We have folks in the room.
Okay, for general public comment?
Yes.
Okay, great. Everybody was here and heard the rules from previously, I believe. The only difference is for this meeting, we are back to our normal 2 minutes for general public comment. Okay.
Okay, we have D. Bruce Haynes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Steve Brusains. I am the County Register of Wills, Clerk of the Office Court, and I reside in Cheltenham. And I intend to present a letter to the Commissioners articulating what I'm about to say verbally. This letter will say, the undersigned row officers from Montgomery County propose that the Commissioners include in the budget currently under consideration a provision pursuant to a resolution that elected row officers' salaries for the Clerk of Courts, Controller, Coroner, Recorder of Deeds, Prothonotary, Register of Wills, Sheriff, and Treasurer be adjusted automatically each year, commencing with the row officer terms starting in January 2024, and further include a one-time increase in salaries in 2024. Now, please note that we're excluding 2 row officers. District attorney's salary is statutorily increased annually, and the jury commissioners do not share a term with the row off. These are our row officers. We fully support the proposal of a one-time increase of 12% for 2024 as an attempt to realign the salaries to those of our peers in other counties, along with the annual increases thereafter, which would be tied to the increases received by the county non-represented employees, minus 1%. The reasons for this proposal are several. There have been no raises in the row officer salary since 2009, and that was pursuant to a 2006 resolution. Additionally, each and every one of these positions requires a specific set of skills that the voters rely on for the efficient running of county government. It is essential to have the best candidates in competition for these offices. The county row officer salaries need to be commensurate with the abilities of the office holder to properly perform the duties of the office. Moreover, it is in the county's best interest.
Mr. Haynes, my apologies, but your 2 minutes are up.
Well, okay.
It's here for this? Yeah. My apologies.
That's fine.
And you can submit any.
I do have letters from the row officers. Okay. If I may approach?
You can give it to Ms. Coker.
To the clerk. Thank you very much.
Any other general public comment? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to ask Mr. Dortone to present the question at hand.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Next slide, please. Thank you. Commissioners, the topic that we're speaking of, elected officials' annual salaries. I'm going to cover a few points on this. Some of the information's already been revealed through this discussion, but I think there are some key points that everyone should be aware of. First, the elected official annual salaries are governed under the county code, and it's by the General Salary Provision Act. It provides the Board of Commissioners with the authority to set annual salaries for all elected officials except the district attorney. This includes the Board of Commissioners, Clerk of Courts, Controller, Jury Commissioners, Prothonotary, Recorder of Deeds, Register of Wills, and the Sheriff and Treasurer. Any of the changes to salaries must be on a percentage basis and apply to all the elected officials equally. Some counties do this annually using a CPI indicator, others just set it at a flat percentage. The salary increase cannot be scheduled in a year that the board is to be elected. That would be next year in this case, or during the term of the office, which you're currently serving. Most counties adopt an increase for the year following the board election year, which would be 2024. Next slide, please. looking back historically at elected official salary increases for Montgomery County, in 2002, the board approved elected official salary percentage increases for each year between 2004 and 2007. Then again, in 2006, the BOC approved fixed percentage increases for 2007, 2008, and 2009. From 2010 through the 2023 budget that's been proposed, elected official salaries have remained unchanged. This will be 14 consecutive years without raising elected official annual salaries in Montgomery County. Next slide, please. So a proposal to address the elected official salary increases for Montgomery County. I'm going to walk through this. First, we have to appropriately adjust elected official salaries to align with our peer counties in '24. That would be the first opportunity to do that, and then beyond. This would require board approval by resolution in 2022, obviously prior to the election year, and would have an effective date as of January 1st, 2024. For 2025 and beyond, the proposal would have a set formula which would increase the elected officials' salaries by 1 percentage point, less than the percentage increase approved for all non-representative employees. This option meets all the requirements that have been outlined in the county code and the Pennsylvania Constitution. Next slide, please. So if this was approved and these changes were made effective 2024, you can see by this chart, when you look at Montgomery County unchanged, those are the current annual salaries for elected officials, as compared to the peer counties, Bucks and Chester, which are projected out to 2024 based on where their current levels are and where they would increase to. Under the Montgomery County proposal, the very last column, this would be the fixed amount that would be adjusted for January 1st, 2024, and then thereafter, based on the formula, it would be adjusted annually. It doesn't include the jury commissioners. They're elected on a separate cycle and would be handled separately in 2024 for the 2025 election year. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Okay, let me put a motion on the floor. I will move that the salaries for the offices of county commissioners, sheriff, treasurer, controller, recorder of deeds, register of wills, prothonotary, clerk of courts, and coroner salaries shall be adjusted beginning in the year 2024 as indicated on the attached Exhibit A. Be it further resolved that the salaries of the enumerated elected county officers shall thereafter be increased annually over the prior year's salary by 1 percentage point less than the increase approved by Salary Board for all full-time and part-time employees pursuant to applicable Pennsylvania law. In no event shall the salaries of any elected county officers be decreased from the previous year, and further that no increase hereunder shall be paid to the certain elected county officials for any year of the current term of office for which they were elected. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Is there any additional board comment at this point?
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of bullshit, and I think it's absolutely wrong, and it is insulting to the general public. Absolutely insulting that this is even being considered. 3 consecutive tax increases, and the fact that this is being considered is outrageous. That's my comment.
And my comment is the Oscar goes to Commissioner Gale for self-righteous indignation. You act like you're shocked that this was happening.
Yeah, I am shocked.
You're shocked?
Yeah.
Use
Yeah.
your indoor voice.
Yeah.
All right, is there
I'm
any-
absolutely shocked.
Oh, outdoor voice again.
Yes.
Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any additional? Yes, sir, you are. Yeah. Yeah, just state your name, please. No, you have to step
You
up.
have to podium, provide your name.
State your name and where you live,
I'm
please.
Mr. Roscoe from Collegeville, and
Thank you.
I kind of find it appalling that...
Sir, can you hold on for 1 second? Can you just start the timer?
Sorry, I
Mr.
just have to
Francisco?
change this.
Yeah, just
slide.
give it,
I
I'm sorry,
find it
sir.
appalling that Mr.
Sir,
Lo-
sir, if you could just please give us 1 second so that we
Sorry.
start the timer appropriately.
Sorry for the delay.
Just give us 1 second. We just want to make sure it's fair for everybody.
I just,
Okay, go
real-
ahead.
real-
I'm sorry about that.
real simple comment. I find it kind of disturbing that Mr. Lawrence would find that Mr. Gale is being dramatic when he seems to be the only one fighting for us as tax holders. And that's all I got to say.
Any other comments?
We do have a couple folks. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes? We have some virtual.
Okay.
Karen Sanchez, Montgomery County Controller. We thank you, Commissioners, for all of your work, day in and day out, to make this county the best that it can be. We feel that approval of this resolution would be consistent with the work you are doing to maintain and obtain the best people in these positions to best serve the people who live and work in Montgomery County. We feel and hope you agree that this is the right thing to do, and now is the right time to do it. Thank you. And I just want to say those comments have been signed and approved by Lori Schreiber, myself, Michael Milbourne, Jean Sorg, Noah Marlier, D. Bruce Haynes, Sean Kilkenny, and Jason Salas. Thank you.
All right, anyone else in the room? We good on the room? Okay. Then we'll go online, please.
First, we will have Jeanette Clifton. You can unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can. Go right ahead.
Okay. Not sure who, like I said, I'm new to this, but the gentleman that once is complaining about the Democratic view, I completely understand and feel like he's the only one fighting for the common person. You guys are expecting the little people to pay all of your bills and everything while we suffer. And I don't agree with that. Please, if you're going to increase it, don't have it be so huge, because you're taking money away from the common people. How are we supposed to put food on the table? How are we supposed to pay our bill? Because we're paying your bills. You're supposed to be working for us, not the other way around. I just feel quite jaded, and I'm at a loss for words. I can understand that you guys work hard, but so does everybody else. And you seem to forget everybody else. It just seems selfish to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Okay, next we will have James.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening. Go right ahead.
Hey, I'm just going to make a suggestion. Everybody's upset with the budget and the commissioners getting an increase. I know you guys are doing a compensation study update. I think it would go very far for everybody if the commissioners would voluntarily forgo any raises to their salary until the completion of the compensation study occurs. And if there's determined that the county is on a financial good standing, that there can be back pay initiated for the commissioners. That is my suggestion.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your comment, but that's actually not allowed under the state statute, unfortunately. All right, then we will move to a vote. Is Ms. Washington online? Okay, Ms. Washington, a roll call vote, please.
Chair Arkush.
Aye.
Vice Chair Lawrence.
Aye.
Commissioner Gale.
Opposed.
Motion carries. Are there any closing commissioner comments? All right, hearing none, I will move to adjourn the December 1st, 2022 meeting of the Montgomery County South.
Sorry, this just be the commissioners.
Yeah, Montgomery County Commissioners Special Meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Any negative votes? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.